Welcome back. Now, the Uis settlement is undergoing a rapid period of economic transformation driven by increased activities in the mining, tourism, and infrastructure sectors. Now, these activities, compounded with the strategic location of the settlement, requires potential investment to realize the dividends that comes from to the fullest. Now, cognizant of its mandate, the Erongo Regional Council will host the Uis Investment Conference on Friday, 4th July 2025 at Swakopmund Hotel and Entertainment Center under the theme Uis in Transition, Mining, Tourism and Beyond. The primary objectives of this conference is to position Uis as a viable investment destination. Now, joining us with insight this morning onto the conference is the Chief Regional Officer of the Erongo region, Mupenzeni Ntelamo, who is now joining us this morning. Good morning, sir, and thank you so much for making time to speak to us this morning.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Now, we know that this Uis settlement in the Daures constituency was established in 1958 and is mostly known for mining. Could you briefly talk to us? Why do you see the need to diversify? Why are you going away from the traditional norm of what this area is known for?
Right. As you rightly stated in your statement, Uis was actually established formally in 1958 as a tin mine. It transitioned then up to the post-independence era. It's a settlement at the moment, and you know, there is economic viability that has informed us, you know, to think about transforming it to a local authority status. Why? Erongo region has 7 constituencies, and Uis, you find it in the Daures constituency, and that is our only constituency that does not have a town. But it's not because it doesn't have a town, that's why we want to elevate Uis to a local authority. It's because Uis is strategically positioned. If you are to access Kunene and the 4 northern regions, you can pass through Uis using the Western Corridor. And that is actually your transit point for tourism as well. Yes, there are mining activities that have increased, and tourism potential is there, as well as land and the people who are the resources.
Okay. Now, we understand that this conference further aims to demonstrate how mining and tourism activities in around Uis can also serve as a catalyst for development, possibly job creation, economic diversification. But talk to us about this theme, Uis in Transition, Mining, Tourism and Beyond. Does it signify the context of the whole regional development and what the Regional Council is thinking as of what it wants to do for Uis?
Precisely. The Regional Councils, first and foremost, are established through the Constitution, Section 12, Chapter 12 through Article 103. That mandate provides for the regional councils to govern, coordinate development, and also think about the socioeconomic development within the spectrum of the region. Why Uis is transitioning and why that theme? Like I've said, we have scanned through. We've done our own studies and found that we've reached a stage where, you know, we can't keep Uis as a settlement because of those economic activities that we are observing, and there's evidence to that. And what we think now, how do we elevate, how do we improve people's livelihoods, those that live in there? There are challenges like any other village council or any other settlement, where issues around unemployment, issues around health, issues around access to water and all that. All these things are in place. And we think if we elevate the settlement to a town, at least jobs can be created. You can actually get your young people out of the streets. And not only that, services can be brought much closer to the people. As we speak right now, Uis does not have a bank. So and banks will tell you they can only operate in a place that is more like a local authority or a town. And you can't actually buy a property in Uis because it's a settlement. The law doesn't allow that. So what we are trying to do now is to actually unpack what really Uis offers. If you're able to buy a house, you actually have to have the settlement elevated to a town status. So if all goes our way, there'll be massive investments that will come through the town of Uis. That's why for us to be able to popularize that, we are starting up with an investors conference, so that people that are interested in retail, real estate, mining, which is actually the limelight of the settlement. So all those are avenues that I would say they are more in a virgin state. And if we can release all these potentials, surely Uis can meet the expectations of the residents, and we can happily respond to the ambitions of the NDP6.
Let's talk about these sectors that you're mentioning that traditionally that you are hoping the investors will come in: retail, housing, manufacturing, warehouse, tourism, and logistics. Do you foresee these sectors complementing one another in creating a resilient and a diversified local economy and making Uis a competitive investment hub both locally and internationally?
Precisely, yes. For a mine to flourish in Uis, you actually need a banking institution as well. For you to host employees in your mine, you actually need housing. So if you can get the real estate sector there actively involved, surely we can address. There's some kind of it's more like there's a reciprocal kind of arrangement there. When one service requires the service of the other. So that's noble factor is actually at play. And for us, if we can realize this dream, I'm very sure that if a banking institution sets up its establishment in Uis, they surely have a market. You have mining, there are already mining companies that are operating there. Government institutions, you have them. The Regional Council is a fully established settlement office, which we hope will be a town council soon or a village council soon. You actually have residents who are working in the tourism establishments. So all these segments would actually confirms the need to actually realize Uis becoming a local authority.
Now, most people will be saying, okay, fine, well and good, diversification is about to take place. You want to grow this town, to make it to have established sectors that will be able to complement one another. What are we going to be doing to ensure that there is sustainable and inclusive growth in this area? I asked this question specifically because we realized recently there was an announcement that the mining town of Tsumeb is going to see a rollback in terms of one of the mines. So then people will be saying, okay, fine, if your core area is likely to be concentrating on mining, then what are we then doing to ensure that we are building a sustainable city possibly, or a town beyond the mining sector?
Yeah, that's very important, yes. You actually wouldn't want to set up a town and then it becomes a ghost town the next day. Like I've said, we are banking on so many segments of the economy. Like I've mentioned, with the Western Corridor, the road that connects Wavish Bay to Henry's Bay to Uis to Korihas, Kamanyab, Opuo, or Omsat region. So that Western Corridor actually can also drive economic activities. So we are banking on tourism as well. Uis is so strategically positioned that you can't actually go to these places without stopping in there. So those volumes of your travelers also would actually bring in income to the town. So we not only want to rely on mining, but actually, widen our scope so that we take care of those concerns. You want to establish a town today and then the next day it becomes dormant. And also what we've observed with local authorities sometimes, they have their own issues, cash flows and all that. So we have steadily looked at all the factors that may really bring down Uis to where it was. So what we are doing is to make sure that we steadily move with that growth, not in a rush, but you start from somewhere before you get to where you really want to be. So we have taken cognizance of all those factors that may hinder the potential growth of Uis.
Now, as this conference is slated for the 4th of July 2025, what are your expectations from this conference in terms of long-term outcomes and investor commitment?
Yes, precisely. What we want is actually the investors' confidence and investors' commitment to actually set up their businesses in Uis. It's a day program where we'll actually have political statements and all that. we are a regional council, and hopefully we have sent invitations to the top echelons in our land ministry. There'll also be panel discussions on that will actually unpack some of the questions that you've asked me. What is it that we want? Why do we want to elevate Uis into a local authority? What is it that is there that would justify the sustainability of Uis as a town going forward? So these are some of the things that we are going to be unpacking, but then the outcome should be that we need to get these commitments from the banking sector, the real estate sector, the mining sector, and the tourism sector as well. That's all we need. And once we have that support, surely the town can really fly.
Indeed. Yeah. Dr. Mupenzeni, thank you so much for making time to speak to us this morning, and we hope that this conference on the 4th of July will indeed be a resounding success for the Erongo Regional Council and Namibia as a whole.
Yeah, thank you so much. In fact, maybe I should use this platform to say, yes, please call the Erongo Regional Council. Our number is 064 410 5700. And you'll actually be assisted on how to actually get registered for the conference. We have a conference during the day and a gala dinner in the evening to mobilize resources for the establishment of this town. So we really want to appeal to all the Namibian businesses from the north, the east, the west, and the south to really come to Swakopmund on the 4th, and then we build our country together.
Just to repeat that number for us again.
064 410 5700. That is the Erongo Regional Council, and we are also available on social media and on our website as well. If somebody goes on Google, you key in Erongo Regional Council, surely all the details will come up.
Okay. Well, Doctor, thank you so much for making time to speak
to
us
again.
Once
pleasure.
again,
thank you so much.
Conference be a success.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now, that was Dr. Mupenzeni Ntelamo, who is the Chief Regional Officer at the Erongo Regional Council, talking to us about the fact that the Erongo Regional Council will host the Uis Investment Conference on Friday, the 4th of July 2025, the Swakopmund Hotel and Entertainment Center under the theme Uis in Transition, Mining, Tourism and Beyond. The conference will be during the day or that same day, while at night there will be a gala dinner with the aim of raising funds. For those that are interested, please do call 064 410 5700 to find out more information and to register as of to how you can be able to participate and ensure that we build a Uis settlement that is resilient for the future and for the ever-changing times that Namibia faces. Stay tuned. We'll continue with more conversations after this break.